Hello, my name is Nasruddin. I'm the city spokesman of Rotterdam.
Nice to meet you, Nasruddin. I'm Janko Franjic, the marketing director for advertisement for you.
Okay, I hope you had a pleasant flight.
Actually, I did. Thanks.
Okay, are you staying for a few days?
Unfortunately, I have to be back in Vancouver tomorrow, so no.
Oh, I see. Shall we get down to business then?
Yeah, let's.
Okay, I see.
Nasruddin, to kick things off, I would like to say that Advertising for You believes that we at Advertising for You believe that we can offer you a very good deal and come up with a win-win result.
Okay. Well, from our point of view, we primarily see it as an exploratory talk. We don't intend to make any hasty agreements at this meeting. In any case, I would have to run it past my board first.
Well, you haven't heard our terms yet to promote Rotterdam as a sports city. You might find them hard to resist.
Well, my job is to find the best possible way of promoting Rotterdam as a sports city. Therefore, I'm quite intrigued what Advertising for You has to offer.
Here I offer you the quotation. You can see some key elements of the marketing campaign. The marketing campaign that we have composed for Rotterdam contains 3 highly effective steps. The first step starts off with launching an innovative website where it will be possible for people to find information about upcoming events in Rotterdam and other related sports activities. Furthermore, a greener environment indicates a sports city, which leads to our second step. Our second step is to make Rotterdam a greener place by planting 100 trees. 100 trees around the Rotterdam Marktval. And last but not least, our third step of the marketing campaign is to build a sports venue near the Rotterdam Central Station, which can be used, which also can be used as a collective facility. People will be stimulated to participate in sports because of this venue, and they will also have an opportunity to hang around with their friends.
Okay. I think those ideas for the marketing campaign are acceptable, but I would like to discuss some issues concerning the steps of it.
Okay.
The first step sounds very promising. The second and third step, however, concern me because I don't know how it is going to promote Rotterdam as a sports city specifically. I cannot really see a link between trees and sports, to be honest with you. The third step, I can link with sports, but it brings up the question of how it will distinguish itself from other sports venues.
Okay, Nasruddin, I understand your concerns. I will elaborate the second and third step. Research has shown that a greener environment automatically stimulates people to get into outdoor sports. This is why we have chosen for planting 100 trees. The third step is going to be a guaranteed success because of its unique selling point.
Okay.
You're laughing, but I'm going to tell you what the unique selling point is.
Okay.
This is organizing workshops at the venue on a regular basis. These workshops will be hosted by known athletes. This will stimulate sports participation in the city as well. All with the outcome of Rotterdam being recognized as a sports city.
Okay. It's quite a bit more understandable at this moment. I can actually see the link you have made, and now it sounds as acceptable as the first 2 steps, the third and the second and third step.
Okay.
But if I run it by the board and they find it as acceptable as me, then it raises the question: what will the cost be concerning the marketing campaign?
Well, that's simple. If you look at the other side of the quotation.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So that's fine. That's fine.
If you look at the other side, you can see that the cost for the website, including maintenance, sum up to an investment of 3,000 euros. Planting the trees will cost you about 60,000 euros, and the venue will be an investment of approximately 115,000 euros. This is a total investment of 178,000 euros for the entire marketing campaign.
Okay.
Well, if you ask me, it's a bargain considering for what you get in return. But of course, I understand you have to consider the offer. Therefore, my priority is to keep the negotiations open.
Okay, yeah, I can see on the quotation what you just have said, and it's clear.
Okay.
Look, the costs seem fairly reasonable, but I would like to reckon that the board's budget is 150,000 euros. To extend this budget with 28,000 euros simply isn't within our range. But nevertheless, I think we can still come to an agreement if we are both willing.
I believe the offer is quite a fair one, with advantages for both sides. But I share the same thoughts as you. I share the same thoughts of still coming to an agreement.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I am prepared to consider your offer with the board, Mr. Janko.
Okay.
If you accept some of my conditions and subject to the consideration of my board, of course.
What are the conditions?
Let me start off firstly with the price that you are proposing. For the second and the third step of the investment is a bit too expensive for considering considering our budget. We would like to pay not more than 50,000 for the trees,
Okay.
and not more than 100,000 for the venue in total.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, the project will be done by spring 2017. That's the deadline that we see fit. And lastly, we would want to know if you would be agreeable to a deferred payment.
Deferred payment.
Yeah.
Well, we would be able. Let's see. We would be able to cut down the costs to 52,000 euros for the trees, and potentially 105,000 euros for the venue. But this won't satisfy your condition considering the deadline. The projects will be done at most after the summer of 2017 ends. Let's see. Yeah, we would also be willing to your condition of the deferred payment, as long as you accept our condition of a total payment and not a payment in terms.
If I understand correctly, the total investment holds 160,000 euros with your changes. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think my board will be flexible enough to extend our budget to this amount.
Okay.
However, the deadline can still cause some commotion. But all in all, I think my board might consider to approve to this condition.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And lastly, my board won't see any problem in paying the investment at once if, and this is if, our conditions of deferred payment will be agreed on.
Nothing, you make me smile. I think we have a deal in principle.
Okay.
Only one thing left to say. Time to start promoting Rotterdam as a sports city that it is.
Yes. I like the sound of that, and let me tell you, Janko, I'm glad we spoke with each other. I think this is the start of a very successful collaboration with each other.
Yes, well, I think so too. Nasdin,
Okay.
it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, Janko. Let me walk you out.
Well, how nice of you, Nasdin.
Of course. I hope you